Hi everyone, this is Joel Kleber from the Jim's Group with another Jim's Group update with Jim. We're doing one weekly now. So what's been happening in the last week, Jim, with everything with coronavirus and the situation in the
Well, I can say is it's getting better. New Zealand's back, which is great. And actually they're lifting restrictions far more than we are in Australia, especially in Victoria. And generally going back, schools are going back to a large extent this month. The economy's picking up again. We certainly find leads are improving. We never suffered a lot in most divisions anyway, but they are starting to come back. So it's good news.
What I found interesting was yearly comparisons from this time to last year, and it was up, which I thought was quite interesting.
Which actually takes out important distinctions. Like mowing leads are definitely up, and fencing and stuff is good. But divisions like test and tag are still down a bit. So it's kind of It's also one of the reasons too that the leads are up is because we count leads and unserviced leads separately. Actually, our unserviced leads are down. So what's happening is a lot of our franchises are taking unserviced leads. So they're maintaining the lead volume.
But long term, that's great because that customer who would have generally got turned away is getting serviced, and it keeps them within the Jim's family, right?
It's been good. Yeah, we encourage the process. We've a lot of mowing leads, especially, have gone to other divisions, which is fantastic because the mowing guys are full up. So you've got somebody who's, say, doing handyman or something who's not quite so busy, take some mowing leads. And I've got some lovely responses back on that. They say it's really helped me through this hard time. Yeah,
let's hope that the divisions who really affected with test and tag and building inspections like that start picking up again.
Yes.
So what do you think about how Victoria handled the restrictions with the announcement and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I'm on the side of thinking that we probably we can be going back a little bit more than we are, especially in Victoria. I think the schools can go back a bit earlier. My school asked me and they said I think they should go back beginning of May type of thing.
Right. Okay.
Because I know my daughter, especially my 16-year-old, really misses school and my son doesn't mind being at home because he can play more video games, but also it would do him some good too.
Yeah, that's an interesting point about the lack of social life that the kids had. I guess they must be really feeling it.
Yeah, Lee and I don't really suffer too much. The only thing we miss is church, but a lot. But for a 16-year-old, that's pretty tough.
Absolutely, it is. But now in this day of social media, at least via Instagram and Messenger and stuff, they can talk. But there's nothing substitute.
Esther likes to hug people.
Right. Okay.
In the quite appropriate way, but she's a very huggy sort of person.
Right.
Which is delightful in a daughter, I must say. But she does miss that physical contact with her friends, and she's got some really good friends.
Well, I got caught out on the weekend. I went for a big walk and I couldn't be stuffed getting home, so I went to get an Uber, and I went going in the front, and he locked his door, and he kept go to the back. I'm thinking, this is Australia. I'm hopping in the front, and I completely twigged with me. Oh yes, I've got to sit in the back, right? So definitely going to catch people out, and hopefully, things can sort of get back to normal. I think another 3 weeks, maybe, or there's another announcement or something like that.
But it's not going to change completely. It's funny. I had a meeting this morning with the people from a potential new division, Jim's Sheds actually, and. You just go in and you automatically want to shake hands. Mm-hmm. It's so much part of that pattern of life. It's very odd. I don't think the elbow bump will ever take off.
No, I definitely don't. I just think it's just so conditioned in you. That's what you're trained from. Shake someone's hand, look them in the eye.
It's a very insanitary thing, shaking hands. You're spreading germs. Even if it's not the virus, it's colds and flu and everything else. Anyway, I've said this in the past, but I think that will continue. I don't think we're going to have a vaccine this year. So I think you'll continue with those elements of social distancing and hand washing and avoiding of handshakes for a long time. I'm just hoping we can get back to training next month. That would be really a big thing for us.
That's what I wanted to talk about actually, is the training. So obviously at the moment we tried to live stream the training last time. I don't know, you didn't like it that much.
It's terrible. Nobody to answer questions. And there were people who could answer questions online, but there's like a 1 minute delay. So it was hopeless. It was speaking to a vacuum. Normally, when you're giving a talk, you've got people you talk to and you can focus on them. And usually you find at least one or two people who are really good, got a great listening. They're great to talk to. They give you great feedback and so forth. And then you ask a question and people come back with answers and stuff. And it's just kind of like fun. Doing it to a camera is horrible. Especially when the cameramen start talking amongst themselves, which is very distracting.
I didn't mean to. I was trying to say, make sure you get this for Jim. And then I know that's what I heard, but I was trying to tell the boys, make sure you do this.
Never again. I'm never going to... They can do the recording from the time that I did it live previously.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to upload the last recording, so it makes it feel as though it's more one-on-one for the person who does access the course now to do that. We're going to upload that, and then we're going to have maybe a Q&A session one time during the week for the trainers to come on. I think we're going to do that.
But hopefully next month we can get back to live training, at least to some extent.
Well, I'm pretty confident we can, depending on the numbers, because we've done it with around 20 to 25. So when that all happened, all the dramas, remember we had training. It was in the middle of training, and then people had to leave and go back to their home states.
Yes.
But the Victorian one still stayed, and it was around 20 or 25 we had.
That wasn't a bad training course, actually. Yeah. And even the ones that were in the overflow room in the conference centre, they were not too badly off. I mean, because they watched him together in the room, watching the big screen. And, of course, they went down and had a chat with them and so forth. And it was a lot more personal than online.
Well, I think we've done pretty well with that, actually. Yeah, well, you're right. We had to move people from one room to the other. Yeah, so one session in there, one room out, and we had the live streaming going. But they still got to meet everyone. And
well, they seemed happy with that, actually.
Yeah.
They seemed a fairly positive experience as far as I could tell.
Yeah, so what I think we'll do is we'll have the online course available, as always, and then we'll have a Q&A maybe every week, and we'll email the backlist and say, hey...
Well, hopefully June... Hopefully June we can run proper training again. I'm very hopeful the way things are going. People are flying around these days. We'll have proper social distancing. We won't have people packed into the room, but it's a big lecture theatre, like 130 seats and stuff. So we can put a lot of people in there without coming too close. And there'll be a lot of hand washing, and there'll be social distancing, and the chairs will be apart. We can do it well, I think, and have a great conference.
Yeah, we've got a
great session.
Yeah, we can. We've got a heap of disinfectant and all that sort of stuff, and we definitely can. We had a trial run last time anyway, so we've definitely.
Well, no Jim's franchisee has got it, as far as I know, nor any member of their family.
I haven't heard it, no.
I haven't heard anybody getting it, so it's a big thing. I mean, we don't think anybody in my church has got it either. I mean, it's really not been that bad, and hopefully with proper social distance we can come back to normal. I feel sorry for the people who, restaurateurs and so forth. That's really tough on them. We've got a lovely restaurant we go to, a local La Porchetta. We know the people there really well, and it's just, I know they've just taken over the business, and it's a real struggle for them, it must be. So I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, well, takeaway, support them with takeaway and all that sort of stuff. And if you can order from them directly, go via them directly as opposed to Uber, because a lot of Uber takes a lot of money, so go do them directly if you can. Now, I was going to talk about Jimbo and Jim's Jobs. That's something that's always talked about, and we get a lot of questions regarding it. So what's the status?
Jimbo's going well.
Which is a franchisor app?
That's the franchisor app.
Yep.
There's something over 100 franchisors now using it, getting rave responses back for it. If you're a franchisor and you haven't tried it, get into it. Roughly speaking, it halves the time it takes to do the job, and you do it better. And it reminds you of the calls, and it's a fantastic system. I know, who was telling me the other day, Ben Ward and somebody else was just saying how great it is. You've got to spare 5 minutes. It just reminds you make the call, take the notes. It's all done. It's a dream system. Rave responses for those who are doing it. Jim's Jobs, we've been doing testing. We are especially interested in anybody who's using Formatize. To tell us, is this in any way inferior to Formatize? And generally the answers come back, no, it's not. It's going great. There's a very minor changes that we're putting through, but it's going pretty well. So I'm pretty confident that by the end of this month we can actually say, okay, Jim's Jobs is ready to go. It's as good as Formatize now, easy to use, and in the months that follow, it's going to be better and better and better.
Well, I think people need to understand with Jim's group, we got various divisions, right? So you got electrician's requirements from a service app is completely different to our mowing and garden care franchisees' requirements. So they might require a lot less functionality than the electrician guy. So you've got to try and balance it, how many features and all that sort of stuff, and every division wants it customizable, I guess, for them in some way.
Well, we will do that.
Yeah. But in time, which is the thing I'm trying to point out.
What we've got now we'll do for mowing, cleaning, dog wash, all those regular service divisions. Others like pest control is going to take a bit more work, but we'll do it in the months ahead, and we'll gradually, those who, if Formatize is good for you and Jim's Jobs doesn't do the job, we'll continue to pay Formatize, which is a lot more than the technology fee, I might say. So it's costing us, a couple of $100,000 a year to do this, but that's our commitment to our franchisees. But for most franchisees, it's going to be a great system. One of the things I look forward to too is I get a lot of complaints. I look through most complaints every day, and again and again and again I see issues and problems that would not happen if once Jim's Jobs is working. Like, for example, a simple thing like setting up an appointment with a customer. The customer gets the appointment wrong. Well, who's to say? Well, if you're using Jim's Jobs very shortly anyway, it actually texts the appointment time to the customer and records it. Now, if the customer got it wrong, which is pretty unlikely, then we go back to the text and the proof. Yes, it was to be on the Thursday, not the Wednesday. Automatic wipe out of the complaint. Like down the track a bit, one common complaint is I haven't got a quote. Well, when was the quote going to be done for? We can set it up so that when people have got Jim's Jobs, they'll actually be able to say the quote's going to be done by Saturday. We won't ask the client before Saturday because there's no point. And there's a whole series of things to go wrong. One of the major reasons for avoidable complaints is franchisees not texting clients. They're not.
It's all right. Jim's phone's on. That's all right.
This is my phone. Sherwood Forest. I'll turn it off.
It's all good.
They're not texting. They can't reach a client, and they just try and they leave a message, but they don't text. Or when they turn up and the client's not there, and they don't text. They send an email quote, but they don't text. These are simple little things that make so much difference. It cuts down like 95% of those kinds of complaints by a simple text. No matter how much I say, do it, some franchisees still don't do it. And I see this every day, and it's very sad. I did about 3 this morning where people hadn't sent the text, and that's why the complaint came through. Jim's jobs within, hopefully, 2 or 3 months will do all that for them. It'll automatically text them. So that I hope to see a lot less complaints.
I think a more increase in work. If people are getting better service and there's less complaints, it's going to mean more work for everyone.
And reminding people to ring. Sometimes you overlook the text. It'll remind you, beep, 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 beep. Come on, ring the client.
The notification, that's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be tailored for Jim's franchisees. But I just want to point out again, there are, as you said, every division is in the works. The plan, the whole goal at the start was to capture as many as we can with the franchisees, then work our way down to make it maybe more division specific for some more specialised divisions who require that sort of.
Look, it's a great system, Jim's Jobs. It always was. It's simple to use. Now we're making it, having all the bells and whistles and features and the mobility and everything. It's going to be fantastic.
Mobile mobility is the big one. iOS and Android's the one that they've been wanting for a long time, and all the data backup. So that's a couple of really good wins, and I'm looking forward to hearing how that progresses. So is there anything that's been happening in the group so far?
No, it's all good. It's going. We're going well. We've had a bit of a tough time, but we're going through a good rise now.
We had a couple of newsletters go out yesterday. One from Jim, which showed the day in the life. So we got a lot of comments on that, which is quite funny. And the Jim's Monopoly as well. We're getting a lot more orders with that. We're still on track, hopefully, for the end of May to take delivery of that and start shipping that out. And the world record holder for Monopoly is going to take a photo, all that sort of stuff. Wants you to sign it. So if you do want your Monopoly game signed, please send us an email to social media at jims.net. And
happy to do it on the box.
We're going to live stream a game too. So we'll get Jim to do an opening, and we're going to live stream you doing all that sort of stuff. And
even though it's a horrible game, Monopoly. I like war games actually. I like games of conflict and nuclear war and so forth. So one of the things I hope to do when the this is not relevant to most people I know, but when the restrictions start to lift, is I'm going to set up a games group to meet perhaps every fortnight here at Foothills.
You used to do that. I remember I used to go to a few of them. So I remember that.
Yeah, I miss that. I like the game. I like the conflict. I like the fellowship. It's just fun. And my Christian guys, they're a bit too passive and peaceful. You need someone with a bit of fire, with a bit of stab in the back, bit of aggression.
Yeah, that's okay. You need someone with a bit of let's say courage to do it as well, to beat the boss as well. So hopefully they can do that. Which game would it be?
Oh, I think Apocalypse and Diplomacy are the two I'd really like to get going.
Apocalypse is where you nuke stuff. Yeah.
And Diplomacy is just intrigue and the map of Europe. It's just great. They're great fun games.
What about Risk? You like Risk?
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
But if anybody's watching who happens to live around the Muralbark area, get in contact with me. We'll set it up as soon as we can.
There you go. And we'll do some...
We'll even throw in some dinner, actually. I reckon we'll do that. That works pretty well.
No, you do like it. So I remember being involved in it a while ago. It's really good fun. So Jim does. You get to see a different side of Jim in those sort of things, I reckon.
Very different. But then again, for somebody who likes villains as much as I do, it shouldn't surprise you if I'm a fairly aggressive player.
Well, that's true. If you do watch Ask Jim and listen to a lot of stuff, you'll know Jim is quite fond of Palpatine and these type of Mr. Burns type characters. So you will know that. So now let's leave it there for this one for the group. And if everyone's got any questions, you can always flick them through to Jim himself, Jim at jims.net, about what's happening. If you're a franchisee or if you're a customer, if you've got any topics in that, please let us know as well.